I had gone through several different revisions of the legs trying to come up with an idea that would keep the theme of a natural tree. Some of them I did out of iron, some of them I did out of wood, but I never really was satisfied with what I was producing. And then the thought came to me, why not use the tree itself? I had by this time milled a large section of the tree already and still had a quarter round of the trunk. I said, why don't I stand this up and keep one edge as a natural live edge and the other edge as the original milled edge. But again, it never really said finished product. I never felt like standing up a stump was my idea of a finished product. So I came up with the idea of carving a more of an hourglass shape into the wood. This would give the opportunity for the wood grain to really show through on the sides. And so I shared the idea with the client and we decided to go for it. This started the task of getting rid of all the loose edges and soft wood that wasn't going to stick around anyway. I started out with a couple of different types of fiber wheels and just began to hone in on what the final shape was going to look like. Here I'm using a chainsaw disc by King Arthur Tools. The tree had a natural gouge down the center of the trunk where an old branch had tried to grow through, but at some point died and rotted out, causing a trough down the center. It was a natural, unique feature on the tree I was wanting to display. I'm using the carving disc to get rid of all the splinters and just kind of round out the edges and give it a more smooth look right around the edge of the natural feature. I decided at this point it's best to cut the legs to length so I don't waste time carving on a piece that's going to become drop off anyway.
Off a little bit, it looks like in the back, but
it's like 29 instead of 30.
right here. It looks like my tape kicks in. You know what I'm saying? It is,
Yeah.
kicking in a little bit.
Yeah.
But see, I can't see that anyway when I'm coming down.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna end up cutting it off.
Okay.
With the thickness of these legs and given the fact that the wood is very saturated being sinker cypress, I knew it would take forever for them to dry, so I decided to put them in a vacuum chamber or a vacuum kiln. The basic concept here is that once exposed to deep enough vacuum, the saturated water will vaporize out at room temperature with little to no heat, resulting in less checking and a faster drying time. In the description below, there's a link to a more complete video on the vacuum kiln project. My CNC router does not have enough height to put the legs directly on top, so I had to get creative and remove the top and mount the legs to the framework to have enough room to just cut out the profile. This is a flap sanding wheel I purchased from Woodcraft. It did a really good job sanding and smoothing out the bark side of the legs. I wanted to showcase the wood grain on the side with a smooth finish, but also preserve the story of the tree by highlighting the saw marks on the back of the leg.